morning. Today we are going to continue with the exercise 19C. In the previous video we did till question number 5. So we are going to continue with question number 6. Very simple question. Look at the board. Question number 6. Question number 6 is to use the table to find the acute angle between the lines 2y plus x is equal to 0 and x plus y over 2 is equal to 2. X over 1 plus y over 2 is equal to 2. So the question tells us to use the table, but then we are not going to use the table because in our curriculum we didn't learn how to use the log table, and also we don't have the trigonometrical table or the log table in our textbook. So we are going to solve it by using the calculator. Is it alright? So we are going to begin with this question. Finding the angle between the two lines. For finding the angle between the two lines, we have to use the formula. Formula is to find the angle tan theta is equal to absolute value of m1 minus m2 over 1 plus m1 into m2. This is the formula that we will use to find out the angle between the two lines. Is it alright? Where m1 and m2 are the slope of the two lines. Is it okay? So first of all, from the two given equation, we need to find out the slope. And you know, to find out the slope, there are two ways. Either you can write the equation in the general form, or you can write the equation in the slope and y-intercept form. So whatever way you feel comfortable, you can do that. Okay. So if I, this is 2y plus x is equal to 0. This is your first equation and it is in the general form. So I'm going to use the same format and then write down the equation. So when you have your equation in the general form, the slope used to be, the slope of this line I will denote as m1. It used to be the minus sign, the coefficient of x, that is 1, and then the coefficient of y, that is 2. So this becomes the slope of your first line. Is it alright? Now we will take the second line. The second line is x over 1 plus y over 2 is equal to 2. This is our equation in the slope and this is the equation in the intercept form. So this we need to simplify. We need to either write this in the slope and y-intercept form, or we can write this in the general form and then we can extract the slope. So we are going to simplify this and then write this in the form of general equation. Okay. So for this we will simplify. The LCM of these two will be 2. Now 2 divided by 1 will be 2, and then 2 into x, 2x plus y is equal to 2. And this implies your equation becomes 2x plus y is equal to 4. Am I clear? In the general form, we used to write all the term in one side. Is it okay? But here that is not necessary because we are just interested in the slope part, and slope part we have to have with the coefficient of x and y. Therefore, the slope of this another line is m2 is equal to minus coefficient of x, that is 2, and then the coefficient of y, that is 1. So when you write 1 in the denominator, it remains just as minus 2. So with this 2 slope, we can find out the angle between the two lines. Theta is the angle between the two lines using this formula. So therefore, angle between the two lines, angle between two lines. Okay. So we are going to calculate tan theta. Tan theta is equal to absolute value of m1 is how much? Minus half. Then minus sign. Then this minus sign. After writing this minus sign, then we will look into the value of m2. That is again minus 2 divided by 1 plus m1 minus half, and m2 is minus 2. Is it okay? Now simplify this. Minus becomes plus. So minus half plus 2 divided by 1, and these two cancel, and minus becomes plus. So this will become, the product of these two will become just 1 because this also is 1. So 1 plus 1. And then finally when you simplify the numerator, it becomes positive 3 over 2, and denominator we have is 2. Now we can remove the, because all the terms have become positive, so there is no meaning of writing the absolute value sign. Absolute value means the number should come out without sign. So now it is become without sign. So this is 3 over 2 into 1 over 2 is equal to 3 over 4. So your value is tan theta is equal to 3 over 4. So from here we can find the value of theta. Theta is equal to 10 will go to the other side. It will become 10 inverse 3 over 4. After this you can just use the calculator and then write the answer. The answer of this question is the angle is 36.9 degree. This is the angle between the two lines. So we have one question to find the angle between the two lines. Now we are moving on to the last type of question in this exercise, which is to change the general equation into perpendicular form, right? So the topic is to reduce the general equation to the perpendicular form. Means here we are going to learn how can we transform general equation into perpendicular form. Is this okay? So for this we have some basic rule. That rule we need to follow, and then this is going to be a very interesting task. So the working rule is, point number 1, the first step you have to do is you have to divide throughout. Please remember that you will have a general equation, and then that general equation is going to be transformed into perpendicular form, right? You know the general form, right? General form means ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So this is said to be the general form of simple linear equation, right? And then the perpendicular form is x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to p. These both are the equation of a straight line. These both are the equation of a straight line. This is called as the general form and this is called as the perpendicular form. So in this process, under this topic, we are going to learn how can we convert this format into this format. Is this very clear? So to do that, we have the rule. The working rule is divide. See, please remember this is going to be converted into this format, right? So what are we going to do with this equation is we are going to divide throughout by root over a square plus b square. Each and every term of this general form is going to be divided by the root of a square plus b square, where you know what is a and what is b. A is the coefficient of x and b is the coefficient of y. So we need to have the square, sum of the square of the coefficient of x and then y, and then find the square root. Whatever term you get, with that you have to divide each term. That is step number 1. Next step, this constant after following this step number 1, then the constant has to be moved to the right hand side. Transpose the constant term to the right hand side. Clear? So this will be shifted to the right hand side. And after shifting this constant to the right hand side, you have to make it positive if necessary. Means after shifting this, if this comes positive, then there's nothing to do. Okay, you have to simply shift this to right hand side. But if after shifting it to the right hand side, if this term comes as negative, then you have to make it positive. Clear? By changing the sign. So this is the basic thing that we will keep in mind. And with this, I will show you one very simple example. This is your question, right? And this general equation, we are going to convert into perpendicular form. So first of all, we will follow this step. We will say divide throughout by root over coefficient of x square is 1 square plus coefficient of y is 1. So that is square. So this will come equal to 1 square means 1. 1 square means 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. That means now this equation is going to be completely divided by root 2. So x over root 2 plus y over root 2 minus root 2 over root 2. 0 we don't need to divide because it's 0 even if you divide also, that does not matter. Now this will become 1 and then this constant will be shifted to the right hand side. So in the next step it will be x over root 2 plus y over root 2 is equal to root is equal to 1. This is becoming 1 because root 2 divided by root 2 is 1 and minus 1 goes to that side will become plus 1. Okay, so the two steps are done, right? Both the things are completely done. How easy it is, you can see now. You have to be just mindful of calculating this portion, that is root over a square plus b square, right? It is made up of the coefficient of x and y. So you got this value, with this value you divided each and every term, and then you have shifted the constant term to right hand side, and finally you got this equation. Is this very clear? Now you already know the perpendicular form, right? X cos alpha, the perpendicular form is x cos alpha plus y sin alpha is equal to p. Am I very clear? So when I compare this with this, I can easily know what is the value of cos alpha and what is the value of sin alpha, and also what is the p, perpendicular distance of the line from the origin. So if question asks us to find out the perpendicular, the length of perpendicular, we will say p is equal to 1. Am I very clear? Quite often they will ask you this question. Okay, so first of all, we are just going to, now we know the perpendicular, so perpendicular is equal to p is equal to 1. Clear? So p is equal to 1. P is equal to 1. Now we have to also find out the angle. Remember here, whenever you are asked to calculate the general equation, whenever you are asked to convert the general equation into the perpendicular form, after doing this process, they will definitely ask you what is the angle, right? What is the angle and what is the perpendicular distance? Clear? Am I understood? So both, after we have converted this equation into the perpendicular form, now we are going to calculate the length of perpendicular and the angle. Clear? The value of alpha. So see now how can we do. Perpendicular we have already calculated. Now we are going to calculate the value of alpha. Is it okay? So we will compare. So when on comparing, what do we get? X and x is as it is. Now other than x, what we have is 1 over root 2. So that is equal to cos alpha is equal to 1 over root 2. Is it okay? Similarly, we have the value of sin alpha. Sin alpha. And this will be compared with the coefficient of y. So that is 1 over root 2. Is this okay? I will tell you the beauty of this perpendicular form is this, both the angle will come same because both the angles are same. Trigonometrical ratios are different, but the angles are same. This is alpha, then this also alpha. If this is theta, then this also will be theta. So you will get the same angle in both the cases. Now, since this is a very easy value, and we already know that for what angle of cos the value is coming 1 over root 2. This is coming cos of 45 degree angle. Similarly, in the case of sin also, sin at 45 degree angle, the value is coming as equal to 1 over root 2. We know it from the table. This is a very simple question. That is why I took very easy question. And therefore, we can say alpha is equal to 45 degree, and this is your answer. So you gave perpendicular length and also you calculated the angle. Hope the whole process is very clear, right? Of converting this general equation into the perpendicular form. So convert this general equation into the perpendicular form and then also extract the value of the perpendicular, the length of the perpendicular and the angle of the perpendicular with the x-axis, that is the value of alpha, that is 45 degree. Am I very clear? So this question is it is taken separately. Now here I have something to tell you. This question was a very simple question, right? And directly we could get the value of angle alpha. The reason why we got this value of angle alpha directly is because in this equation, these both are positive. You know, there will be some difficulty for you if any one of these two, or maybe if both are negative. If these both are negative, then we will have to do some exercise, okay, to use the sign convention. Then we have to go for sign convention. When this is all positive, when this both are positive, then there's nothing to do, directly you get the answer. But if this happens to be negative, either one is negative or both are negative, then you will have to do some exercise. So I'm going to take one question where you will have something negative, and then if there is something negative, then what is the actual process of doing this question? Am I very clear? We are taking question number 7. This is to reduce the general equation in the perpendicular form and find the value of P and alpha. So first of all, we are going to take A part. We are going to solve A part, right? The equation we have is root 3x minus y plus 2 is equal to 0. This is your equation. So now what we can do is, first of all, we have to divide this by the coefficient square root of the square of sum of coefficient of x and y. So we'll write here divide throughout by root over coefficient of x is root 3 and then square plus coefficient of y is minus 1 square. Are you able to get it? Now when I simplify, square root of 3, square root will cancel, so this will be just 3. So 3, and this square will become 1. So this is 3 plus 1, 4, and square root of 4 is 2. That means we are asked to divide each and every term by 2. So root 3 over 2x minus 1 over 2y plus 2 over 2 is equal to 0. Right? Now this constant, in the next step, the constant will have to be shifted to the other side. This implies root 3 over 2 x minus 1 over 2. This will become plus 1. When this plus 1 goes to the other side, it will become minus 1. This is step number 2, where you are shifting the constant to the right hand side. And after shifting the constant to the right hand side, you have to make the constant positive if necessary. And here it has come negative. That means here it needs to be made positive. So when you make it positive, that means you have to multiply each and every term by minus sign. Right? For making this negative, you have to multiply it by minus sign. So when you are multiplying this by minus sign, that means every term has to be multiplied by minus sign. And therefore, in this equation, the sign of each and every term will change. So finally, your equation will be negative, this will be negative root 3 over 2x. This will become positive half y, and this is equal to 1. So you got it. And after converting this equation in the perpendicular form, we have to now find the perpendicular and the angle. So perpendicular is very easy. Directly you can get P value will be equal to the constant, that is 1. Right? Now we have to find the angle. Is this okay? Now what I told you in the previous question, if any of these two is negative, or if both are negative, then directly we cannot find out the angle. We cannot directly find out the angle. Then we have to do some exercise, because then there is sign rule. We have to use the sign convention, which we have studied in the allied angle formula. Is this okay? So first of all, I will show you some rough work. This is the rough work. What will happen if you have your coefficient of x or y negative, or both negative? In that case, we need to draw the quadrant. We need to draw the coordinate and have this plane in 4 quadrant. Clear? And then using the trigonometrical angle formula, this is first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. So we will denote this by theta. This quadrant we will denote by 180 minus theta. This is 180 plus theta, and this is 360 minus theta. This is very, very important for you to remember. This is because whenever you have to find out the angle, right? After converting the general equation into the perpendicular form, when you have to find the value of length of perpendicular and the angle, clear? So for angle part, if any one of these two is negative, then without this you will not be able to get the correct measurement of your angle. Am I clear? So again and again I am reminding you, if any of these two or if these both are negative, in that case you must have to draw this. With this you will be able to get the measurement of angle very correctly. Am I very clear? So, and also now you need to understand that what is the sign convention. This is the first quadrant where all the trigonometrical ratios are positive. This is here only sine positive, here tan positive, and this is cos positive. All positive, sine positive, tan positive, cos positive. Add sugar, tea, coffee. Am I very clear? So now we are going to find the angle. So first of all we need to compare. Okay. So on comparing, okay, this you can compare with the perpendicular form. So other than x, cos alpha is equal to, coming here, negative root 3 over 2, right? And sine alpha is coming as equal to half. Is this okay? Now, first of all, what we have to do here is, you can see this, that the value of cos is negative and value of sine is positive. Is it okay? So value of cos is negative and the sine is positive. For a short moment, for some time, we will just ignore the sign. Okay, just ignore the sign. So I will just consider this without sign. So this is cos of cos of alpha. Cos alpha is equal to root 3 over 2. Please remember, I am not worried about this part. I am only worried about this part. This is my positive, so this will not give me trouble. The troublesome part is this. So that is why I have taken this only without sign. This I have taken without sign. Am I clear? So without sign, if I try to find the value of angle, what is this coming? Cos at what angle the value is coming? Root 3 over 2. Right? You know the trigonometrical table for 5 different values, right? So this is coming, cos is coming as equal to 30 degree. Cos at 30 degree, the value is coming root 3 over 2. That means your alpha is how much? Your alpha is 30 degree. What I did is, for some time, for a moment, we just ignored the sign and then we try to get the value of angle, and then we calculated the value of the angle we have got is 30 degree. Is this okay? But this is not the right answer. I calculated by ignoring the sign. So I got the value of alpha as equal to 30 degree. But please remember that this is not the answer. Now after this, what we need? This trigonometrical ratio is negative and this trigonometrical ratio is positive. Right? This trigonometrical ratio is negative and this trigonometrical ratio is positive. Now you tell me in which quadrant you find cos negative and sine positive. You have to identify that. You will get the answer very easily then. In which quadrant you find the cos as negative and sine as positive? Now look here. Sine is positive in the first quadrant and in the second quadrant. So this sine, either it is here or it is here. Am I clear or not? So now we got the first clue that this sine could be either in first or in the second quadrant. Now this cos, it cannot be in the first quadrant because it is negative. If it is in first quadrant, then it would have been positive. That means this is definitely in second quadrant. Clear? Because this cos is a negative in second and third quadrant. This cos is a negative in second and third quadrant. Now with cos you also have sine. So you have to take this together. So in which quadrant these both things happen together? Sine positive and cos negative. So that is happening in the second quadrant. That means your angle, this alpha, will be written in terms of now 180 minus theta. So we will write this as cos 180 minus theta means alpha, and alpha you have calculated how much? 30 degree. So we will write this 30 degree. Am I clear? And then this is minus, this will give you minus root 3 over 2. And since both the angles have to be same, here you got this 180 minus 30. So this also has to be in the same term. Cosine 180 minus 30 degree is equal to also half. Am I clear? Is also equal to half. Now 180 minus 30 is how much? Cos of 150 degree. This is minus root 3 over 2, and this also is sine 150 is equal to 1 over 2. That's how you got the value of angle alpha, and that alpha comes equal to 150. Therefore, we can say alpha is equal to 6 degree and the perpendicular is equal to G. This is your answer. Am I understood? So part A I did, part B will be your assignment. After this we will have one more question. Now we are moving on to the last question for the day, question number 8. Look at question number 8. Put the equation 12y plus 5x plus 65 in terms of x cos theta plus y sin theta is equal to p. That means here also the question is asking us to do the same thing. We have the first equation in the general form and then another equation in the perpendicular form. So we are asked to convert this general form into perpendicular form and indicate clearly in a rough diagram the position of the straight line and the meaning of the constant theta and p. So in this question, along with the perpendicular and the angle, we also have to show the diagram. So we are going to begin this question. Okay. So first of all, we will have this equation, the general form. The general form of the equation is 12y is equal to 5x plus 65 plus 65. Now we are first of all writing this in the proper format so that we can have the meaning of this equation. So we will say 5x can be taken to this side, minus 5x plus this 12y is equal to 65. Let the constant on the other side, right? So that later on we don't have to take it. Now we can divide, the first step, divide throughout by what? Root over minus 5 square plus 12 square. That is 5 square is 25 and 12 square is 144. Sum of these two will be 169 and then the square root of 169 is 13. So now we are going to divide. So minus 5x over 13 plus 12 over 13 y is equal to 65 divided by 13. So your equation is finally minus 5x over 13 plus 12 over 13 y is equal to 5. So now once you have converted this in the perpendicular form, we can easily get the perpendicular. So perpendicular is done. Now we are going to do the calculation for finding the value of angle. So this we can do by comparison. On comparing, this part will be, the coefficient of x will be compared with the cos alpha. Cos alpha is equal to negative 5 over 13. And the coefficient of y will be compared with sin alpha is equal to 12 over 13. If you remember in the previous question I told you, if any of these two is a negative, then you will have to, you cannot find out the angle directly. We have to use the sign convention. Okay, sign convention. Once again, I am drawing the rough diagram. right? This is theta where all the angles are positive, all the trigonometrical ratios are positive. This we can write as in the form of 180 minus theta, right? Any trigonometrical comes in this quadrant, we will write in terms of angle 180 minus theta. This will be 180 plus theta, and this last will be 360 minus theta. Am I clear or not? Now here, for the time being, what I told you is for the time being we will ignore the angle. So we will take only the negative one, because the negative part only we can solve easily, right? Otherwise, you can take the positive also, because both will give you the same angle. So I'm considering always the negative number. Cos of alpha, here for the time being, I will just take it without sign. This is 5 over 13. And then you can calculate the value of angle alpha, right? So when you calculate the angle alpha, this angle alpha is coming as equal to 67.38. 67.38. So we calculated without this sign, we calculated the value of angle, and angle came to 67.38. Now, because one of these two is negative, so we have to find out its location. If both were positive, then we blindly take it in the first quadrant, and then we don't have to do all this work. Clear? So we know that now this is negative and this is positive. The sign is positive and cos is negative, and that will happen only in the second quadrant. Therefore, the angle cannot be expressed in terms of alpha. We have to express this angle in terms of 180 minus alpha. Is this okay? So therefore, we can compare this now. Cos, in place of this, we will write this as 180 minus alpha. 180 minus alpha, and alpha calculated how much? 67.38. And this is equal to negative 5 over 13. Similarly, this also, sine 180 minus 67.38 is equal to 12 over 13. And therefore, this is equal to now cos of, this will come as equal to cos of we'll just calculate 180 minus 180 minus 67.38. It comes as 112. This will come as 112.62. 62 is equal to negative 5 over 13. And likewise, this also will be sine 112.62 is equal to 12 over 13. And therefore, we can say alpha is equal to 112.62, and the perpendicular from this equation we can take perpendicular is equal to 5. Is this all right? So the calculation is done. Now the last part is it says to show this by means of a diagram. Show this by means of a diagram. So here I will show you a rough diagram. The diagram we can draw is, this is the coordinate, this is the coordinate. The coordinate is this is the coordinate, and in this coordinate this is your line, right? And then the perpendicular distance of this one is this line. What is happening? This is the perpendicular distance. Is this okay? We can mark it perpendicular here, and then this is the angle alpha. Am I very clear? So this is your angle alpha and this is your perpendicular. Hope it is clear, right? Thank you. With this, we are ending the exercise 19C. Thank you so much for watching the video. Enjoy learning maths. Take care and stay safe. Thank you.